On today's show, I teach you how to start strength training, the biggest mistake that most new lifters make, and why cardio can make you fat. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday, August 28th, I believe. We are at the Top Shop right now, and you are on Rack Chat. You are watching Rack Chat. You are listening to Rack Chat on the podcast. We are sitting in a rack for Rack Chat, made by our unofficial sponsor, Rogue Fitness, who unofficially sponsors all of our Rack Chat presentations, podcasts, videos, shows, whatever you'd like to call it. But we are excited today to teach you guys how you can start strength training, how to make it easy, and how to avoid some of the most common mistakes. Again, if you guys don't know me, my name is Brett Summers. I am a strength and conditioning coach and owner of Top Line Gym, aka the Top Shop, right here in Glendale, Wisconsin. I've been owned and operated this business since October of 2008. I have coached rookies and newbies and novices just like you who wanted to learn how to strength train, get in shape for a sport or just for general health for the last decade. Okay, I've taken people who have no clue what they're doing. They've never touched a weight before. They have zero strength, male, female, everything in between. We've got young, old, skinny, heavy. It doesn't matter who you are. I've been able to help you guys get started in strength training. Now, why am I talking about strength training and why am I not just talking about cardio? Because cardio alone, just doing cardio, just hitting the treadmill, just going for a walk, just running, just hitting the elliptical and hitting all the machines can actually make you fat. Why can it make you fat? Well, I'll explain that later when we get into the benefits of strength training. But again, you guys may never have strength trained before. You may have seen some of the equipment and some of it might be a little intimidating to you. You might have seen some weirdos like me on my Instagram account or Facebook strength training in the dark, listening to screaming crazy music and squatting and grunting and groaning, and also listening to church podcasts by Bishop T.D. Jakes and thinking we're a little nuts. But don't let that deter you from getting into strength training, because strength training has a ton of benefits, which I've highlighted a few. Okay, so here, before we get into how you can get started strength training, even if you're a rookie and a novice and you've never touched a weight and you're intimidated by strength training, some of the benefits that you'll get are it builds lean muscle. Okay, it's very important. Because it builds lean muscle, it will also help you, strength training will also help you burn more calories. The more lean muscle that you have on your body, the more your body has to produce calories and use calories just to be able to keep the muscle on your body. So for someone who is one weight and someone who is another weight, they're both the same exact weight. They both weigh 150 pounds. One person has lean muscle and the other person has zero muscle. The person with the lean muscle is actually burning way more calories every day just to exist and maintain their current physique because they have lean muscle on their body. So if you want to actually get in shape and be leaner and look a little bit better, you need to have the lean muscle on your body. That is why I said cardio alone will actually make you a little bit more fat, right? Is that the, can I say fat? Yeah. It's body fat. It's body fat. Overweight, whatever you want to say, it's not going to make you happy because you're going to feel a little bit soft. I think soft might be good instead of fat. Soft. I like that. Okay, you'll be a little soft. Like you can just get poked. We've all been there. I've been there. You've been there. It is what it is. But strength training can help you avoid that. So I'm not telling you to eliminate all the cardio. That has its place. But don't be so afraid of the strength training that you don't get into it to get some of these benefits. Another thing is it gives you confidence. When you attack something like strength training and you learn how to do it and you start getting a little stronger, I'm not saying you have to turn into some buff monster like Blake and Britt over here who's got all the muscles in the world. All you got to do is gain a little bit of lean muscle and gain a little strength, and your confidence kind of goes along with it. It's challenging, it's tough, and men and women alike can both gain a lot of confidence from strength training. Makes you feel a little bit better, and again, obviously helps the waistline quite a bit. Another thing is strength training makes you stronger. Believe it or not, it actually makes you stronger. When you strength train, you get stronger. Physically, yeah, emotionally as well, but when you strength train, you gain a little bit more strength. And because you have that strength and the lean muscle mass that you're gaining by getting in the gym and doing some of the weight training, it helps protect you from injury. And because you're protected from injury, now your sports career is going to go a little bit better. If you're not an athlete, you're just going to be able to go through different things in life while avoiding some of those aches and pains that you might feel because you have limited strength in some of the tissue. Now, that also goes along with this. One of the main things I think, so if you're not a young athlete, if you're someone like me who's in their 30s, or if you're in your 40s or 50s or 60s, it is highly suggested that you strength train to offset some of the effects of aging. Okay, as we get a little bit older, we start to lose lean muscle mass. So if we're getting older and we're not strength training, you are going to significantly reduce the amount of lean muscle mass that you have, which could then start to show itself and present in some injuries and some nagging skeletal issues because the tissues surrounding the joints no longer have the strength or the density that they once did when you were in your youth, in your prime. So you definitely want to train for that. Now, I think some of the other things, what would you guys say some of the other benefits are to strength training? We got Britt, we got Blake in the building. Strength training. Is there some mental effects that go with it? Like, we kind of touched on it. Blake's saying confidence again. I think that's a big thing. When you strength train, you can it's one of those things. If you just do cardio all day, the only real way you can see if you're doing more or getting better is like you could shorten your time. Whereas in the gym, if you bench 225 for 5 reps in week 1, and by week 5, you bench 225 for 20 reps, you can see that strength gain, and it automatically kind of gives you an endorphin rush because you're actually making progress and getting better. Tons of benefits to strength training. Here's another one. How about this? When you strength train, your body is producing more. You're using more energy. Guess what you need to take in more of? More energy, which is food. So strength training and doing things like sled pushes and tire flips and other sort of strength and conditioning movements rather than cardio alone will allow you to consume more calories. So you can get away with that extra piece of pie and it doesn't affect you like it would for someone else who's not putting as much output out. So the more you put out, the more input you can take in without it affecting the waistline. So that's another huge benefit of anyone out there. I think just to strength train alone, I know a lot of people who lift weights and strength train just to eat more. If you like eating, it's a good way to kind of offset it, stay in shape, okay? But here's the thing. When you're just getting started, you want to learn how to get started strength training. So one of the things that you want to avoid is just going to the gym and just going through the motions. Another thing you want to avoid is just following people on Instagram, watching a video, and then going to attempt what they were doing, even though they may be a lot further along in their training journey than you are. So don't just go on Instagram or YouTube and start following everybody and trying everything. I'm going to tell you this, partly because I own a gym, partly because I'm a personal trainer, but mainly because I care about you guys. If you want to start strength training, hire a coach. Hire a coach. Britt just did it. She invested in her health. Blake's trained with me. And you can take people who haven't strength trained at all, right? Another good one is Kim. I'm not going to drop her last name, but my former client, Kim, she could not even lift up a 20-pound barbell. She couldn't bench anything. And after about 6 months, hairstylist, she got so strong and so confident through strength training. I've never seen someone transform so quickly, not only physically, but also mentally by starting light, by starting with the basics, by getting an understanding of what to do and what not to do and getting going. Okay, and I've been doing this for 10 years. So I've got youth high school athletes that came in, they couldn't even do 5 push-ups, who maybe 9 months later were deadlifting 500 pounds safely and preparing themselves for football seasons. You got people like Britt and Blake, who Blake strength trained when he was in college, but he wasn't necessarily, I don't think, doing what was probably needed, and the coach wasn't giving him as much attention to detail as he probably should have. Britt has knee injuries and some different things to work around. So strength training is actually one of those things she still can do and do at a high level. And now she's able to, as she said the other day, it gives her hope for the future. So I'd say it's pretty important, right? But they're around coaches. Watch out, the iPhone drops. Just dropping the moneymaker. When you strength train with a coach, they're able to, someone like me, we're able to guide you along a process that not only makes sense for all people, but also kind of gets individual to you. So if you have an injury like Britt, or as I mentioned earlier, if you're a little bit older and you want to strength train, getting around someone like me or another highly qualified coach who can help you get started and show you how to make a linear progression and get better and better and better week after week without all of a sudden trying to do something that's going to injure you or hurt you, you'll get a much better understanding. Because you want to avoid those mistakes of going in the gym and just going too hard or training too much or overtraining or trying to max out all the time. You want to avoid all those things when you get into strength training. The easiest way to do it, like anything, hire a highly qualified coach who can take you from A to B on a straight line and get you there as fast as possible. So I'm always going to recommend that. But I just wanted to make today's episode all about how do you get started. Getting started is simple. When you go to the gym, again, make sure you're with a coach or someone who really knows what they're doing and will focus on you and you alone so you can get started and build confidence and meet some other people at the gym, which is not as terrifying as you'd think. There's a lot of jerks and weirdos and pinheads out there that are all over the gym. They'll judge you, but the same goes anywhere you go. Anywhere you go in life, there's always people that are looking and judging other people. It is what it is. You don't need to hide yourself. You don't need to go to a special gym that's got lunk alarms and this, that, and the other just to feel confident. You'll feel just as uncomfortable there as you will at a place like Topline or at some of these other carpet and chrome gyms you got around here. Anywhere you go, you have the opportunity to get better. I'm not going to hate on any other business, but you're never going to feel perfectly confident right when you go in unless you're with someone who's making sure that you're doing exactly the right thing. So just get after it, get started, make sure that you're committed to it, and make sure you're doing the right things. But again, strength training is one of those things where you want to go into it. You want to go into it slow. You want to pick a few different exercises, maybe 3, maybe 4, that's it, and learn how to do them slowly and do them effectively and do them lighter than you even could possibly start with. Like I started doing with Britt. You got to start light, and you'd be surprised at how starting light can challenge you after a few reps. So make sure you don't start too fast. Make sure you're starting with somebody who knows what they're doing, can teach you guys what to do, but don't forget about all those benefits. Don't forget about the reason why, you're like, I'm doing cardio every day. I'm hitting the elliptical, I'm hitting the step mill at a snail's pace. When you're doing all that stuff, you're doing some aerobic work. You're getting your heart rate up maybe a little bit. You're burning some calories, but because you're not building the lean muscle mass, you are going to significantly reduce your chances of being in the shape or getting the physique that you want. And remember, ladies, you're not going to accidentally just end up waking up and looking like Blake, like a freaking monster. Blake's just jacked out of his mind. You're not going to end up looking like that. Okay? It doesn't happen. Your body won't get there. And if you do have the genetics, the rare genetics, female genetics, that you end up being very muscular and that's not the look you're trying to attain, it won't happen like that. So you'll be able to back off and make an adjustment if all of a sudden you wake up looking like the Incredible Hulk, which I highly doubt will happen. So again, don't have those fears and misconceptions slow you down. I'll be honest, based on Instagram, based on YouTube and all these things, I feel like strength training is one of the most popular, hot things to do in the entire world right now, male and female. And women are starting to understand, and a lot of young men are starting to understand all of the benefits that can come with strength training. And I'm not focused on all the negative things that come with that, of some of the people thinking it's all ego and this and that. I'm more concerned and impressed and excited about the fact that people are starting to realize the benefits of spending time in a squat rack and squatting and benching and doing some pressing movements and learning how to isolate muscles with bicep curls and tricep pushdowns and all the wonderful goodies that come along with strength training, because I know that it makes people feel really good about themselves. It helps combat anxiety. It helps combat stress. It helps combat some insecurities that you might have. It helps to get people who might consider themselves to be introverts. It gets you out of the house for maybe an hour and a half a day, to where you can get around other people now who are trying to better themselves, improve themselves, and hopefully you get around an environment like we have here at Top Line, where you can be a newbie like Chris Casey and Riley, who did my private training workshop, which might be a good option for you. They invested $450 to do about a 2 to 3 hour private strength training workshop where they worked with me. We came up with a program that would work within their schedule, that would work within their understanding of strength training, which was almost non-existent for both of them when they first started. And now they're coming in, they're on a consistent strength training program that they carry out on their own. They met with me for 3 hours. They carry it out on their own, and they check in with me once a week, once every couple of weeks. So if you're out there and that might sound like a good option to you, instead of hiring a personal trainer to be there for custom workouts every time, maybe you might be interested in doing a private strength training workshop. Investing $450 for 3 hours is not exactly a small investment, but the value and the benefit that you'll get from those 3 hours can significantly improve your life, your confidence, and then obviously your physical body. So it's something that you might want to do. I'm excited about it. Strength training can definitely take you, your personality, your confidence, and maybe the size of your t-shirt up a notch, right? You might have to bump, you might be able to fill out the sleeves, which I'm a little disheartened about right now because I've been doing this challenge, and I do have a slight little bit of slack in my sleeves lately. It's hurting me. It's hurting me. I was surprised yesterday in the video that there was still a little something popping there. Yeah. So I think I was like hugging it like a little bit. But in any event, it does give you a little swag, gives you a little confidence. And how about this? You guys correct me if I'm wrong. You see somebody who's got some lean, not huge, but any male or female who's got a little bit of lean muscle mass, right? You can just tell, you're like, dang, that person trains. What does it tell you about the person? I know what it would tell me, but like, what would you guys say? There's a couple ways to go with it, but you see somebody who's, what would you be thinking? Or maybe it's just me, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know, they got confidence, like they have their life together.
Well, here's what it would tell me, and then you tell me if I'm wrong. It would show that they have some sort of level of self-discipline.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Some level of commitment. Because I know that, and you guys know out there, right? Especially if you haven't been doing it, it requires some commitment. It requires a little sacrifice. It's not easy, you know. Some people have good genetics and it's a little bit easier for them, but it's not easy for everybody to get in shape. So when you see somebody who's exercising, don't think right away, oh, they must be all into themselves. Maybe you start to think like I go, that person must have some self-discipline. They must have committed to something and stuck it out long enough to be able to build muscle, because it doesn't just happen. Lean muscle doesn't just happen like that. Again, like I'm saying, it's a process. So I think that that's a really good thing. I see someone like that, I go, they might have some of those things, characteristics I'm looking for. And whether we know it or not, a lot of people and studies have shown time and time again, I should add a few of those statistics up, but people who are in shape tend to get paid more. People who are in shape tend to get promoted to different positions, and people who are in shape tend to be taken more seriously. Now, I don't want to give you a specific percentage, but there are statistics. If you Google some of those things, those are things I've studied time and time again in men's health and men's fitness and Fitness RX and all these other women's health. You'll be able to see that when you're in shape, people tend to, take you a little bit more seriously. And that doesn't mean that if you're out of shape, that you're a bad person. That's just kind of one of those, it's just human. That's just the way people are. And unfortunately, sometimes, even if, some of those people are a little lousy, that's just the way things are looked at. So perception is very important. And if you're trying to better yourself in your career or your business, or again, you just want to walk around with a little bit more confidence, not arrogance, you just want to walk around feeling a little bit more sure of yourself, strength training is definitely one of those things that you guys want to start doing. So again, we covered some of those things, how to get started, some of the biggest mistakes, and why cardio is not the only thing you want to do in the gym. And again, if you guys have any questions about this, or if you think I'm wrong, or if you disagree, that's totally cool. These videos are just me speaking. I don't have tons of notes written out. This is just my thoughts and what I've observed over the last 10 years. And again, I'm not just talking to fit people. I'm talking to people, if you're watching this video and you're not really fit yet, you can get there. And I want to encourage you because I've seen people go from I've helped people go from 400 pounds to 200. I've helped people lose 100 pounds. I've helped people lose 50 pounds. And strength training has always been an important part of that. They're not necessarily bodybuilders. They're not power lifters. They're not sports players. But they're people who wanted to lose weight and get in shape. And strength training really, really, really helped their process. And if you're out there and you need to lose 20 or 30 or 60 or 200 pounds or 300 pounds, I want you guys to be encouraged because I've seen it happen. And it's just the best thing in the world to help somebody lose a significant amount of weight, or even if it is 10 pounds, and start to gain their confidence back, start to get rid of some of the anxiety and stress and pressure that they're under, and improve their quality of life. That's my job at the end of the day, every day. It has been for 10 years. And that's really what I want all these videos to do. Entertain a little bit, educate quite a bit, but I also wanted to encourage you guys to take action because I know fitness is one of those things that everybody truly wants to usually take control of their health and get in shape. And they don't always have somebody in their corner who believes in them, who's encouraging them, who's telling them what they should eat or what they shouldn't eat or helping them avoid certain things. Maybe you're around people who aren't living the healthiest lifestyle. Maybe you feel like they're holding you back. You can get around people like me and the Britster and the Blakester and get around people who are going to encourage you and help you go in that direction. It's a process. It's not going to be easy, but if you're out there and you're not in the best shape, you can do it. You can get in shape. You can get better, and strength training should be a part of that. So if you have questions, drop a comment. If you hated it, drop a comment. If you think the slack in my sleeves is starting to get to be too much and that I should go have a cheeseburger and fries, comment that as well. Subscribe, follow, share the podcast if it helped you. And you don't say anything, that was our mission anyways. So again, we're here to help you out, give you our best stuff. Get in the gym, start strength training. Thank you to our unofficial sponsor, Rogue Fitness, for sponsoring every video. And thank you to our official sponsor, Ellen Co Beauty Salon in Thiensville, Wisconsin, the best premier hairstyling salon that you've ever seen in your entire life. It is going to be magnificent. I might even go get my hair cut there if I could grow it out. If I can grow it out, I'll go there for sure. But Michelle Sonora is going to be your #1 hairstylist, and her staff and team are going to be amazing. Simra actually just joined the team, so you're definitely going to want to go in there on Saturdays and see Simra and Britt. And we might even have Blake working the front counter for all I know, but it's going to be unreal. Thank you guys for watching. Have an awesome hump day. It's Wednesday. Don't retreat. Get after it. We'll be back tomorrow with Turf Talk, where we help athletes dial in their game. We'll see you guys soon. Hey, Britt just got done filming the show. Blake was over here watching. What did you think, Blake?
I thought it was a good show. I thought it was a good show at Rack Chat.
I got to step up my game. He just said good. I don't want to do good. I want to do great, so I'm not happy about it, but I hope it helped you guys out. And if you thought it was helpful, maybe some of these other videos that we've got linked up here would help you out. So if you're on Facebook, check out some of the other links. Did we put this on Facebook or just the YouTube one? Both. So, hey, if you're on Facebook, check out some of our other videos, our other shows. We got Rack Chat, we've got Turf Talk, we got Coffee with the Coach, which is my personal favorite.
Fit Life.
We've got the Fit Life, which I also love that. It can help you guys get dialed in, get in shape, get better. And if it doesn't help you, maybe it'll help somebody else. So check that out. Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. And if you want to get in here and work with us,
Gotta get in here.
get in here. We'll see you guys soon.